Hey, what's going on out there, gym owners? Hope everybody's having a great week. Hope you're crushing it. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. We're almost at the end of January. I hope your first quarters are going well and everybody's, organized, streamlined, and systemizing their processes, got their vision, their processes and systems, and their people all in line, working together, ready to go. You got your leadership in place, right? And everybody's firing on all cylinders, kind of, getting it popping, getting big issues done and create it for the new year. Whether it's a new marketing plan, whether it's a sales system, right? We have a big sales meeting today that, we're doing at the front desk. So we're constantly teaching sales and service, constantly teaching, processes and procedures, and constantly going over and reviewing training protocol, right? Safe training, organized training, whether it's shoulder injuries, neck injuries, and things like that. Our head coach, Mike, does a phenomenal job of kind of, keeping the crew on top of the latest in science and education in the world of training. And then Dan and myself, my partner and I, do a ton of time spending on sales, giving great service, marketing, and delivering the processes that, make Varsity House tick. So, if you need some help with those things, definitely, hit me up, send me an email, DM me on the gram, or, check us out at strengthentrepreneurs.com, and you can check out some of our podcasts and some of our articles and things that we've done there. You could even come and see us for a 2-day workshop. We have another one coming up in March, at the end of March on the 28th. So you could check us out then, and that would be a great opportunity to kind of, get some personal time and go through your systems and go through your processes and people and kind of organize things, help you organize things for you. So if you subscribe to the Business of Strength email, maybe you got my email yesterday about the Tale of Two Restaurants. And I've been talking a lot in our private mentorship group about giving great service and what that means, and how, being able to identify, deliver, and quantify great service is really important. In the gym industry, it's extremely rare, right? For whatever reason, in the small gym business, especially in the smaller, box CrossFit gyms and privately owned warehouse gyms and things like that, other than the big box corporate gyms, very few places I've ever been to do they train great service and sales, right? So, and how to deliver sales in a way that makes people feel great, as opposed to making them feel like they're getting ripped off, one. And two, just how to always try to over deliver on great service and exceptional service. And I want people coming to my gym and not only feeling that they got an amazing product, like they got an amazing training, product, but they feel like it's an amazing place that, everybody's so nice and friendly. They go out of their way to help us. Anytime I ask Joe a question, he stands there for 10 minutes giving me every answer he could possibly think of and trying to help me, right? So all those little things matter. So, I've been reading a series of great books called Zingerman's. It's a good book review called Zingerman's Guide to Giving Great Service. And I'm really, really impressed with how they've kind of put together a plan. They're a deli. If you don't know, they're a deli in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And they started off with a 2-man shop. And, now they do over, $25 million a year in revenue. And the business is worth like 70, 80 million, right? So, 2-man shop, 2 partners, and they've spun that off into about 25 other businesses. So their whole model and their whole vision and some of their core values and everything are built around delivering great service, right? And so they knew that, if we just make people feel awesome and they want to come back all the time because the staff is great, the people are great, the ownership's great, and we're really willing to work with them through their issues, whether it's a problem with their food or something like that. So, look at the parallels in the gym industry. Dan and I constantly make parallels with the restaurant industry, right, and the food industry, right? Because there's a ton of parallels. It's an ultimate service business. It's a luxury service, right? Nobody has to go out to dinner, to a fancy dinner at a restaurant. Nobody has to come train at my gym. There's a million other gyms in a few miles from us, right? So the goal is, why do they come back, right? For an amazing results in product, but just as important is that exceptional customer service, right, and support, right, and the feeling that they are being heard, right, when they need to be, and they're being helped when they need to be, and that that my staff, myself, my partner Dan, and our staff are there to do our best and give them the absolute best hour of their day in every way, shape, or form, from the moment they walk in and order and sign in, to the ordering a smoothie, to, you know, the entire training process, and then, you know, high fives and smiles and waving them out the door, right? All those little things matter a lot, right? How does it get to that point, though? Well, you know, before I started reading these books, you know, I always knew that it was really important to identify great service, right? So in our team meetings on a weekly basis, I always pick out at least one good thing that I saw one of our staff members doing and give them a high five, right? And it's like, hey, you know, I saw Phoebe the other day doing this, or I saw Trevor, you know, hey, I just want to thank Trevor in front of everybody. I just want to thank Trevor for constantly putting his ass in the seat and working his butt off and bending over backwards for customer complaints, bending over backwards for customers who have issues with their billing or whatever it might be, and always being our go-to guy. And, you know, Trevor's here 10, 12 hours a day, every day, just like me and Dan, and he's an exceptional example of someone who cares about our clientele and gives great service. So that matters a lot to your client, to your employees, and it starts people thinking about what they're doing, right? Well, if that's great service and that gets praise, well, then maybe I need to do more of that, right? So first, the number one thing is identifying and rewarding great service, right? It could be as simple as your weekly team meeting or your advisory board meeting. Pick one thing out that you saw people doing, right? And point it out, and point out that great service. Now, on the other side of that, if you saw something that's going on that needs to be addressed, that's something that you could address there too, right? So it's like, hey, you know, here's how we handle, and I wouldn't single somebody out in front of everybody. That's not the way to do it. And if there's a real issue, if you saw somebody getting really frustrated and talking back to a client, you might want to have a personal conversation with them. But in a group, I'd say, hey guys, you know, here's a complaint that we've gotten several times about the schedule, about not having spin classes, about whatever it might be. Here's how we handle that, right? Here's what we say, right? Here's how we dispel them. The first is acknowledge the complaint. Oh, I'm so sorry, Joe. I really apologize. I'm so sorry you're frustrated. I wish we could offer that. It's just not what we do. Our expertise is in world-class strength and conditioning, and we hire coaches that's their specialty. At some point in the near future, if we expand, maybe do a different model, you know, maybe spinning is in the cards, but I'd be happy to help you, you know, find a spin studio or another place where you could do that on the side. There's a few places around that we have good relationships with. You know, does that make you feel a little bit better? You know, so there's lots of ways to go about it, okay? But by just like saying, nah, we ain't doing that crap, right? Which is a lot of gym owners get very adversarial about what they do and what they don't do, what their products are, what their products and processes are, right? Adversarial, you know, attitude gets you nowhere, right? When was the last time you got into a fight with your loved one, you know, spouse, wife, husband, right? And they were in a bad mood, and when you came in the door, they threw a little heat at you, and then you throw it right back. You throw that can of gasoline on the fire. That gets you somewhere, right? So how's it different with a paying client? I'm paying for service, and you're going to give me attitude because I ask you a question. No matter how, you know, outlandish the question is, you know, make light of it, acknowledge it, right? Apologize empathetically and sincerely, right? And then work them to a solution, right? And offer your solution. You know, don't go off on long tangents. Don't make it a big deal, right? I'm really sorry you feel that way. Right, you know, let me help you. Let's come, you know, let's figure out a solution. Here's what we can do, right? Always kill them with kindness. Okay, that's number one rule. You know, don't get so hung up on your systems, processes, and rules and regulations that you can't bend a little bit to make somebody happy. I will go out of my way to make a good client happy, right? And if that means, you know, I got to throw them a couple free smoothies or a t-shirt or even a free month on their membership, that's okay, right? And I give authority to all my people, right, that work in the gym. If there's an issue with a client, right, they can go above and beyond by, you know, giving them, you know, smoothies, shakes, supplements, whatever they think is the right thing. A free month. Hey, I'm so sorry that happened to you, and you know, next month's on us. You know, blah blah blah. There are lots of ways. I will lose a couple dollars up front to gain a wealth of respect and admiration on the back end. So, you know, learn to identify, deliver, quantify great service, and start training that with your staff on a regular basis. You know, at least once a quarter, have a service and sales meeting and go over some of the nuances, talk about some of the issues that keep popping up, talk about how to dispel some of the things that clients might say and do, and talk about what it means and identify exactly what it means to deliver great service in your business, and you will absolutely start, you know, reaping the benefits of that. So take care, everybody. Have a great week.